Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And we got a special sneak peek at Where The Crawdads Sing, the movie that Taylor Swift, our girl, has a song in.
Mm-hmm.
So who got to see it?
I did.
Me.
I did.
Okay, so I was the only one that didn't go. But everyone else went. And
Who all read the book?
I did.
Me.
Okay, everybody but Anna. She made
Well,
my
I tried,
Yeah.
to read it. I don't know when we want to start diving in.
I think you just started.
I mean, I think this is it.
Well, okay, so when we first heard that Taylor had written a song for the movie adaptation of Where the Crawdads Sing, I was like, okay, I've heard everybody talk about this book. I'm going to read it. I told the entire world I was going to read this book. I talked about it on the podcast, on my social media, before I even opened the first page. And then I opened the first page. And I will be really honest. I gave up on reading the book. I think it just wasn't my cup of tea. You know, it wasn't the genre that I usually lean towards. I just got a little bored.
Mm-hmm.
I will be completely honest. I just got a little bored. It just wasn't my favorite. So then I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the movie. That way, you know, we have an equal people that read the book reviews versus people that didn't read the book reviews. So
Smart.
I really did it for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I closed the book and I was like, it's for the people.
Okay, those of us who did read the book,
Did you like the book?
I loved it. And it's not my style of book at all. It's not my genre. It's nothing that I normally would read. It was a little bit tough to get through at first because I'm like, where is this going?
Mhm.
It makes me just feel bad at the very beginning because I'm like, oh, this is a really crappy situation. But then it starts figuring stuff out, and it's a beautiful story.
And
I did enjoy it.
You had already read it, right, before we knew that Taylor was
Mhm.
making a song.
Mm-hmm.
So
I read it because it was popular.
Yeah, it was super popular a year or two ago. It was on Reese Witherspoon's must-read list, on Oprah's book club, so it was really popular. And so the story's about a girl named Kaya. Is she the Marsh Girl or the Swamp Girl?
Marsh.
She's the Marsh Girl in North Carolina.
Yes.
All right. So they're in North Carolina. She's in the marsh. She's picked on by the town. She goes to school for one day, and they were so mean to her. She never went back. And so she's an outcast. She's a loner. Like, her parents left early on. She's living by herself in a shack out in the marsh.
As a
And
little girl.
Super little girl,
Yeah.
very young. And so she raises herself among the wildlife and the marsh. And she gets involved in, like, a murder mystery somehow. Someone dies, and we just got to figure out
Right.
how it happened.
Yes.
How did you feel about the story, Nick?
I thought it was fine. I do like those kind of stories. I do a lot of murder mystery type things, and it was fine. It was a little long-winded at times, I felt, Anna. But it was good. I mean, I felt like the ending was a little predictable.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
of course. Yeah, for sure.
I
You just got to
didn't.
figure out how it's going to get there, and it did, and it was nice and
I
everything.
had doubts.
Yeah.
So I question, because I read the first 10 pages before I gave up, I'll be honest.
10 pages, that's
Maybe.
it?
No, that's me exaggerating.
Exaggerating.
But I didn't make
So you
it.
read like 5?
I didn't.
3?
No, maybe like 50 pages. But
Okay,
before I gave up.
okay.
But I joke and say that I read the first 10 pages. However, the movie, it kind of jumped in time.
It
Does the
does.
book also
The
jump
book,
in time?
the book
Yes.
jumps in time, yeah.
It does? Okay.
Mhm.
Because when we were watching the movie, I don't know. I was trying to figure out because, you know, the first 5 minutes were like, I was like, wow, this is exactly like the book, like the pages that I read. And then eventually I caught up to where I had stopped reading. So I didn't know how accurate it was to the rest of the book.
When they're jumping in time in the movie, is it really confusing, or is it obvious when it's young version of Kaya and when it's older version of Kaya?
Yeah, you can tell when it's like young version,
Mhm.
and then when it's older, and then when she's older, when it's like the same actress, they put the year
Okay.
on the screen,
Yeah.
so you can kind of
Yeah,
know
okay.
what the time,
What the jump
what the
is, yeah.
timeline is. I have no idea how people are going to react to this. Like, I really can't predict if like critics are going to love it and fans don't, or vice versa. You know, like I really, really don't know. And I was reading this article about the song Carolina and if it'll be, a contender for like an Oscar. And the article is kind of saying like, as good as the song is, it really depends on how
Well,
the
the
movie
movie
is
does.
received. Yes, like if critics like the movie and the movie's well received and fans really like it and things like that, it obviously gives the song a higher chance. But if the movie flops, not that it will, but hypothetically, if it were to flop, then there's just no chance that people would,
Yeah.
outside of fans of Taylor Swift, that would know the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this isn't the only movie that she's lent her beautiful songs to. There's plenty of other ones out there.
Do you want to go through them?
I would love to hear that.
And then let me know your favorites.
Yes.
Okay, if we go way back, one of my favorites that I really hope she records is Crazier from the Hannah Montana movie. Obsessed. Love. Today Was a Fairy Tale, which we already have Taylor's version of that from Valentine's Day. Jump Then Fall was also in Valentine's Day, which now we have Taylor's version as well. Safe and Sound and Eyes Open from Hunger Games, which I hope she re-records those.
Yeah, those are great
Me
songs.
too.
I have to say, at the
What?
time, I don't think I appreciated Eyes Open for the greatness that it is.
What album would that go on?
I think Speak
I think
Now.
Speak Now.
Now?
Just
Okay.
because of
Yeah,
the
it's
time
evolved.
period.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's so much more darker and stuff. I don't know if
Yeah.
it fits with the vibe of
I think
that,
it would
though.
be like a vault song. Yeah.
But I guess it wouldn't fit
Both
in
of them.
1989 either.
right.
We already have Red, so
If anything,
Yeah.
you could maybe Reputation.
that seems like such a far time jump.
Yeah.
I think just because of the time that it came out, it would
Yeah.
go on. It would go on Speak
Okay.
Now. Then we got Sweeter Than Fiction from One Chance. I Don't Want to Live Forever from
So good.
featuring Zayn from 50 Shades of Grey. I think that's one of my favorites.
That's got to be her best song for a movie that I can think
I
of.
think that it
Wait,
was received well.
yeah, let me wait to hear the rest of the list, then I'll decide.
Beautiful Ghosts from Cats. If you want to include Only the Young from Miss Americana from her documentary.
Yeah, that's a jam.
You
Yes.
know, if you include
do
that
like
as
that.
a song for movies.
Absolutely.
And then Carolina, of course, from Where the Crawdads Sing.
So the other week we had a pop quiz with Trey. Remember, we invited Trey to come in
Yeah.
here, and we
That
kind
was-
of
yeah.
quizzed him
That
on
was
being
so
a
fun.
Swiftie. So I thought that this week
No.
we can have a surprise quiz.
No.
Come on.
You're the worst.
This is terrible.
Surprise quiz. Out of all the songs mentioned earlier, Safe and Sound, Eyes Open, Sweeter Than Fiction, Only Young, Carolina, Today Was a Fairy Tale, Crazier, Jump Then Fall, I Don't Want to Live Forever, Beautiful Ghost. Top 3, rank them right now. You've got 30 seconds.
Done.
Just ranking our favorite ones of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just no rules, just quickly.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Done.
All right. Nick, you're first. What's your
All right.
your number 3?
Number 3, Today Was a Fairy Tale.
Anna?
Number 3, Crazier.
Amy.
I Don't Want to Live Forever.
Great choice. Lacey.
Today Was a Fairy Tale.
Lacey doesn't count. She had time to think about this.
I know. Psh,
No,
it's like,
I didn't.
It's like the teacher.
This was your idea.
Yeah, but I didn't have it listed out. I
Oh,
still
I
did the
thought
same
you
thing as
did.
y'all.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
All right,
Sure.
All right. So for
Mhm.
my
right.
my second favorite of her songs that were used in movies, Only the Young.
Eyes Open.
Amy.
Carolina.
Carolina. Lacey.
Safe and Sound.
Safe and Sound. All right. So my favorite song of Taylor Swift's that was used in a movie, I Don't Want to Live Forever.
Same. I Don't Want to Live Forever.
Safe and Sound.
Safe and Sound.
Crazier.
Crazier.
So we
okay.
kind of had the same, no, but you know.
We were overlapping.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Not.
What's this? What's going on?
And then we also have a few others, for example, Wildest Dreams being in the Horse movie,
The horse movie.
also known as Spirit Untamed. And then there's rumors of, did you guys see that clip from this animated, I'm not sure if it's a TV show or a movie, but it's called DC's League of Super Pets.
No.
And there was a clip floating around. So it's it's animated, and there was a dog that was singing along to Bad Blood. And so people were trying to figure out, is that Bad Blood Taylor's version? Because it's not out
Maybe.
yet. So
My son wants to go see that movie, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
do research for you.
yeah, so let us know.
Wow.
And then we were absolutely blessed with 5 Taylor Swift songs in The Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon Prime.
You love that show.
I love that show.
On a scale of 1 to 13, what do you rate that
13.
show? Okay,
Oh,
good.
definitely.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 12 if we have to be like, okay,
real.
best ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever. But I do really like it. But see, here's another thing. The Summer I Turned Pretty also based on a book, and I didn't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have also a different opinion
True.
on that.
Lacey,
I've only
Amy,
seen the
yeah.
first episode, and I really like it. And great soundtrack.
Yes.
Great soundtrack.
There's like 3 Taylor Swift songs in the first episode.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So it was the book. It's a book series. It's a trilogy written by Jenny Han, who also did 12 the Boys I've Loved Before. So it's that same like teen romance vibe. That's my genre.
Do you remember which songs were in that show of hers?
Yes. So Cruel Summer.
Great.
I love it. As soon as in the first episode, and Cruel Summer's kind of like they're the 2 main characters. The main character and her best friend, they're like hanging out or whatever, and Cruel Summer's like playing like in the background, like they're listening to it. So that's cool. Lover is also featured, just like little snippets. This Love, Taylor's version, which was also used to like tease the series in general. False God, which
Ooh.
incredible
Okay.
that's used, because I feel like that's kind of an underrated bop.
Yeah.
And The Way I Loved You, Taylor's version. So those are
Right.
all featured in The Summer I
And
Turned Pretty.
all songs she owns.
Yes, all songs that she owns. I mean, Jenny Han is a certified Swiftie.
Oh, good.
For sure, for sure.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy, because we all know that life can be overwhelming and many people are burned out without even knowing it.
You know, the way that you care for your mind is very important. So you need to invest time and care into keeping your mind healthy. There's lots of ways to support a healthy brain, like learning a new language, taking a power nap, and there's also BetterHelp Online Therapy.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I feel like when I feel really anxious or a little bit depressed, or just like I'm having, like, feeling a little burnt out, there's a lot of things I can do to take care of myself, but sometimes all I need to do is just talk to someone else. And that's what BetterHelp Online Therapy provides.
That's right. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even a live chat-only therapy session, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. Whatever makes you comfortable, BetterHelp is there for you, and it's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
And it's fantastic because they match you with somebody that is perfect for you. I've been matched with several different people because I've been trying to find the person that understands what I need. So that's what I really appreciate about BetterHelp. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Taylor Swift fan. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Taylor Swift fan. Okay, one of the coolest things. So like much like we got to see Crawdads early, I also got to see The Summer I Turned Pretty early.
Bragger.
And I know, but it's amazing. It's one of the biggest perks of our job, to be honest. But so I watched the entirety of The Summer I Turned Pretty 2 weeks before it was out.
Wow.
And I have to say, I have never felt so powerful knowing which songs were in the series, because we knew that, like when we were getting the teasers and the trailers, we knew that This Love, Taylor's version, obviously. And then at one point, Jenny Han had teased that there was more Taylor Swift songs, right? So all over Swift Talk, people were trying to predict which songs were gonna be in
You
it.
were dying.
And I was dying because I knew what they were. So I was watching all of these videos and I was like, for once in my entire life, I know what it feels like to be Taylor, to like see people make theories and predictions and things like that. But when I knew the answer, it was, oh my God, it was driving me crazy to not like share it or comment or anything because I couldn't. So,
Right.
But I've never in my life felt that powerful.
That's a lot of power for a Swiftie.
It is a lot of
It
power
is.
for a Swiftie. I know. And so when they send us these early screeners, they usually give you a date on when you can talk about it.
Mhm.
And for The Summer I Turned Pretty, it wasn't until the day before
Yeah.
that it came out. So, and then I guess there was like a screening in LA or something, and there was another Swiftie that like revealed that Cruel Summer was mentioned in there. And I was like, oh, if they're spilling it, can I spill it
Yeah,
also?
exactly.
Like I really wanted to be like, False God is also in there. Like,
Anna's changing her handle to Anna the All Knower.
Yeah, it was oh my gosh, it was eating at me. But I loved that show so much. There's 7 episodes and I watched all 7 episodes in 2 sittings.
It's
Nice.
cute. I might finish it off today.
It's incredible. I just
Yeah.
love it so much. And I'm tempted to, because it's a trilogy, a book trilogy, and I'm tempted to read the next book, but it did get renewed for a second season. And so I can't decide if I want to read the book and like know what happens or if I want to just wait.
Would you
until
go back and
it's
read
this
the first
season.
one too?
If I decide to read the second one, yeah, because I'm sure much like anytime you adapt
Yeah.
something, I'm sure there was things that were missed. Yeah, I just can't recommend that show
How
enough.
exciting.
I love. I'm gonna rewatch it actually. Why not?
Okay, another show, Conversation with Friends.
Yes, on Hulu.
Yes.
This is with Joe Alwyn, right?
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Isn't he like a swinger or something, or he's in a throuple? What's the deal?
It's like
See,
not
I
a
would say
swinger.
kinda, because I didn't finish watching it. I only watched a couple of episodes, so I think that kind of vibe. I don't
Yeah.
know
No, it's-
exactly what happens or how they define their relationship, but it
It's-
seemed to be a lot of back and forth.
It's more of an affair.
Okay. Okay.
But
It's
very
not a-
complicated.
Like a complicated and like adult affair.
Yeah, I've heard that Joe has some love scenes, right?
Yes,
Yes.
which is what I was gonna say. I feel like a false god whenever I'm watching these scenes because I'm thinking this is what Taylor has a part
Yeah.
of. I
you
mean,
see-
come on, he is killing it in the show. Period. Like in all of his scenes.
Could you see Lacey coming out while Joe's doing his love scene with the saxophone? Playing the false god little riff while Joe's just going to town. What if they turned on 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, and
That is so
You know?
weird.
listen to us break it down? Why they break it down? You
I
know,
almost
right?
I hate that.
Hey Taylor.
That was hilarious.
Well, that does it for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Please let us know your thoughts on Where the Crawdads Sing whenever you get to see it. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. Go ahead, leave us a good comment, give us a good review and a 5-star rating, and subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on. And join us next time.
Because you know what we're talking about next?
What?
I don't know. So I think I'm going to add some behind the scenes chatter here from what we were talking about before
Oh.
we started recording.
I wasn't talking into the mic correctly.
Oh, I'll see. We're going to be treading for a while anyway. So if we want to come back and do that later, we can. I mean, we don't have to commit to it, but.
I say we jump right in and start doing folklore.
Well, it's interesting because, we have 2 weeks, right, of the possible announcement still happening.
Sure.
But then what
But-
happens when there is an announcement? There's going to be an announcement,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be wait.
Right. So that's why I'm saying the longer we wait,
That's true.
the more
Yeah.
time we're just
Like, should we just
wasting.
Dive into folklore after
You just
break.
do it because I would assume what's folklore? How many songs?
But we have to do them back to back. I feel
I know.
like.
I know. So that's the thing.
Folklore
Because it'll
and
probably be
Evermore? Yeah.
folklore and then whatever the next re-record is.
I don't
And then
feel comfortable with
Evermore,
that. I
and
mean,
then
I
whatever the next
would.
re-record is.
It's
But
not my way or the
do you wanna do
highway.
that, or do you want to wait 4 months?
Yeah. It's
Because whatever
tricky.
she announces, you're going to have at least 2 to 3 months
Right. She probably won't do
from when the album drops.
Right.
It's tricky because, regardless, the truth is, even if she were to announce it, we still have the Shake It Off lawsuit and that other lawsuit
Right.
at Speak
So
Now.
it's not
So,
going to be either
and
of those.
granted, she has been low key hinting at debut, so I'm
Right.
kind of jumping on that train now. But
And
I don't think she even
Wonderland.
knows.
yeah.
She knows.
No, she doesn't. Or she
She's
had a
gonna-
plan and it got screwed up, and now she's like, oh.
She's going to drop a surprise album.
I think that, I'm convinced that she's already recorded everything.
Totally.
It's just a matter of releasing
Yeah.
things. I did see somebody on Twitter was like, let's all be honest. Taylor Swift writes music in her sleep. She's on her 16th album by now. In her time,
But she wasn't allowed to record Reputation, right?
Not yet.
Right.
Not
Okay.
until,
Except for that.
November.
Okay.
Right.
Right?
But
Like,
we'll
it's not until
probably-
the end of this year she can start recording it.
Correct. I don't know. I guess
So-
we can figure it out. when we
Blind
get
vote.
back. Just put all of our votes in a hat and then see.
I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah. I would just say,
Me too.
you want to be just twiddling our thumbs for 4 months?
It is.
Or like
Do
at
we
least
want to
be
take this
doing
week
something.
to think on it?
Yeah, I don't want to announce anything.
No,
Let's
no,
wait.
we shouldn't announce anything. I will
Yeah.
say that when I posted something on our social media, the majority of the people were saying that they wanted to just dive into folklore.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.